Tony Ferguson's head. Ferguson's impressive 12-fight winning streak in the lightweight division came to an end after suffering a fifth-round TKO defeat to Gaethje in the UFC 249 headliner. El Kukoi notably took over 100 significant strikes to the head until his body could take no more, and the damage was clear to see in his face. Bloodied up and exhausted, Tony Ferguson truly looked like a boogeyman by the weird way his body and head were moving. As we found out, Ferguson got brutalized in his fight against Gaethje. The highlight stopped the boogeyman. This victory earned Justin the interim lightweight championship, which put him next in line to face off against Nurmagomedov. Knowing Tony, he made a quick and strong return to the UFC. Unfortunately, he was never the same, now having lost 3 consecutive bouts in a row. Luckily, he is doing alright and recovered well from the damage Gaethje gave him. Well guys, that was number 10 of our top 10 worst injury list, and there are plenty to come, so stick around until the end. Number 1 will be something you probably can't look at for too long. My name is Matt from Primal MMA, and I'd love to hear from you which is the worst injury in MMA history that you know of. Tell me in the comments and I'll personally reply back to you. Now, let's continue with the list. Number 9. Yusuke Yachi's eye damage. We've not seen a horrible-looking sports injury for a fair bit, but the condition of Yusuke Yachi's eye at Ryzen 14 certainly made up for it. The 28-year-old Japanese fighter took on UFC veteran Johnny Case, and a series of brutal blows meant he lost in the second round on the Floyd Mayweather-Tenshin Nasukawa undercard, courtesy of a technical knockout. With his eye incredibly swollen to the point it looked shut, as well as blood pouring from it, the ringside doctor had to intervene and call off the fight, giving Case a triumphant Ryzen debut in Tokyo. Because of the state he was in, Yachi did not participate in a post-match interview and was immediately taken to hospital for treatment. Case, meanwhile, accused his opponent of using performance-enhancing substances for the bout by commenting on an Instagram post. Number 8. Liam McGeary broken jaw. Liam McGeary's rematch at Bellator 220 against Phil Davis ended in him tapping out unceremoniously, with Davis raining punches down on him, but it's hard to blame the former light heavyweight champion for submitting given the circumstances. On Saturday, it was clear that McGeary was injured during the fight, and he later confirmed on Instagram that his jaw was broken, providing both an account of the break and an x-ray. The jaw cracked in the second round and the tooth went in the third, McGeary wrote. Soon as that arm came round and touched my jaw, that was enough for me, guys. That hurt like an MF, and you know I can take some of that too. Number 7. Sofiane Boukachou leg break. Sofiane Boukachou suffered a horrific broken leg in the Cage Warriors 101 main event in Liverpool. The French heavyweight had an outside leg kick checked early in the second round by Tom Aspinall, and the bone was snapped as a result. Boukachou, who had won 5 consecutive fights upon entering the heavyweight headliner at the Echo Arena, instantly went down clutching his leg in agony, with medics quickly entering the octagon. The incident evokes memories of the injury sustained by Anderson Silva in his rematch with Chris Weidman at UFC 168 in December 2013. Aspinall improved his record to 6-2-0, while Boukachou faces months of rehab. Following his main event woe in Liverpool, the stricken ace saw plenty of supportive comments on social media. One fan posted, "Ugh, poor guy, that's almost as gnarly as Silva's one. Hope he makes a full recovery." While another added, "Unlucky lad, all the best and a speedy recovery." Number 6. Pat Sabatini ripped arm. MMA fighter Pat Sabatini suffers grisly broken arm from refusing to quit. MMA star Pat Sabatini suffered a gruesome broken arm as he refused to tap out against James Gonzalez in their Cage Fury Fighting Championship title fight. The 29-year-old lost his featherweight title just 46 seconds into the first round after the referee immediately waved away the contest. Sabatini had been expected to make light work of his opponent, with Gonzalez, 29, taking the fight on just 6 days' notice. The duo went toe-to-toe from the opening bell, with the challenger being sent to the canvas before he wrapped his legs around the defending champ's throat. After Sabatini slipped out of his maneuver, Gonzalez immediately latched onto his arm, where he tightened his hold and began to torque it backwards. Refusing to submit, Sabatini's arm snapped, much to the horror of those watching, with Gonzalez instantly alerting the ref, who swiftly moved in to halt the bout. It was later revealed that as well as a broken arm, Sabatini had also suffered a suspected dislocated shoulder and elbow. Number 5. Tim Means ankle break. After dominating Nico Price for the majority of their March fight, Means was knocked out cold as the clock wound down in the first round. If I've learned anything over the years and in my past, it's that I need to be patient. Means told MMA Junkie. "I think the hardest part was just winning the fight. I was dominating, Nico, so not getting paid that extra money is a slap in the face." Not only did punches cause Means to lose consciousness, it resulted in a serious leg injury due to the way he fell. Means' leg twisted awkwardly behind him, resulting in a broken leg and ankle. Surgery was needed. Means did not give a timetable for when he expected to return from his leg injury. Number 4. Jerome Rivera's arm dislocation. Jerome Rivera may hold the accolade for the worst arm injury suffered in MMA. Rivera appeared to dislocate his arm during his flyweight bout against Brandon Royval at LFA 39. After his attempted body kick was caught, Royval drove him into the fence. Whatever way he put his hand against the cage, it re-emerged dangling lifelessly beside his body. He tried to run away, but all he got for his troubles was a shin to the face. He absorbed a few strikes on the ground before the referee stepped in to put him out of his misery. Number 3. Sage Northcutt's broken face. Sage Northcutt's One Championship debut couldn't have gone any worse. A Predator versus Prey scenario unfolded before our very eyes at One Championship 96, Enter the Dragon. After leaving the UFC on a 3-fight winning streak at welterweight and lightweight, the 23-year-old met Brazilian kickboxer veteran Cosmo Alexandre at 185 pounds and was knocked out in just 29 seconds. Northcutt suffered extensive injuries in the fight, including 8 fractures that required a 9-hour surgery in Singapore after his May debut. In his first interview since that loss, Northcutt told MMA Fighting he still hasn't been able to train. The One Championship star was concerned he could never get hit in the face again after such a serious injury, but he remained positive that everything would eventually work out. Number 2. Michael Bisping lost his eye. This might be the worst injury in UFC history due to the permanent nature of it. Michael Bisping is known for his toughness and being a true fighter, and his injury proves this. He faced Vitor Belfort in the main event at UFC on FX7, losing to the Brazilian fighter via head kick knockout in the second round. Unfortunately for Bisping, the kick did permanent damage to his eye that resulted in his eyeball having to be completely removed. Despite doctors advising him to retire from the sport, Bisping went on to compete more than 10 times since then, and even won and successfully defended the UFC middleweight title before retiring in 2017. Number 1. Mike Perry's destroyed nose. This broken nose isn't just one of the worst injuries in UFC, it's one of the worst in MMA, period. Mike Perry threw down against the Brazilian striker Vicente Luque at UFC Fight Night 156. Unfortunately for Perry, he was on the receiving end of a flying knee that completely mangled his nose. Being the warrior that Mike Perry is, he carried on fighting, made it all the way to the final bell, eventually losing a split decision to Luque. He required surgery to get his nose reconstructed and returned to action just 4 months later. And with that broken nose, we end our list today, guys. Hope you made it until the end without having to gag or close your eyes. These are the top 3 comments from our last video. Make sure to leave a comment if you want to get featured in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and click the video end screen now to continue watching.